Hello and welcome to the Studs Up podcast. I am Garfield. I'm here with my co-host Simon Says. Hello.
Yes, you are.
And this week we're going to be talking about the preview for the round. So we're going to be going through every fixture, and also because we mentioned it in the last podcast and I wanted to give it a little bit of time, I'm going to be talking about the Scottish Premier League, the Big Two, the Rangers and the Celtic maybe joining the EPL. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This is the Studs Up podcast.
The Studs Up podcast. I want it to happen, and I don't want it to happen. I'm in really two minds about it. I like Celtic, always have.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were a Scot, I would be going for Celtic, personally. I don't know if you are
I would, yep.
against me on that one.
No,
but,
I'm with you.
I've kind of got the connection there, don't I? I got the Brendan Rodgers.
You do. You've got your man over there.
The Brendan.
They also sing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
They do. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. You can understand why. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
I like how they play. A lot of passion. Their fans remind me of Liverpool fans.
Oh yeah, they're amazing.
I don't know. I like.
So are Rangers fans, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
I'll get quite a bit of hatred for that. Weirdly,
I like the Scots. I got a good rapport with the Scots.
Yeah.
So look, selfishly, I'd love to see them in the Premier League because I think they'd tear it up. I think they'd do great. But I don't know. I think the extra competition would mean that we would more rarely see them in competitions like the Champions League, which
That's
I
true.
like seeing them in there. I think they throw their cat amongst the pigeons on their day. They can beat the big sides, and that's exciting. But if they're in the Premier League, week in, week out, to play enough, big games, big victories to make that top four, that is a really difficult ask, as
tough.
it is with this league, as it is.
Yeah.
Throw in those two teams, and my goodness, you've got 10 sides who are good enough to make the top four at any given time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, look, I want to hear your thoughts on it because I know I have mine, but I want to know that I'm not alone in how I feel.
Okay, well, here's my way of thinking. I don't know if you've been following this. I know it gets spoken about every year and has been for decades. Yeah. Probably as long as we've been following football, it's been spoken about.
Definitely.
But at the moment, the league is trying to restructure in England and actually destroy the 24-team tiers and make them all 20. And add an extra layer at the bottom end. So then there'll be, instead of the current, Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2, they'll add a League 3. They'll all have 20 clubs.
They currently don't count conference division as
they
the
don't count it
division.
as part of the league, basically, as part of the football league.
So you've got another tier to fall down before you end up in conference, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. So it'll be another tier again. So it'll be 20 teams. So pretty much all the teams that are there will basically stay there, give or take. So here's the argument. Do you only take Celtic and Rangers, or do you try to fold the entire Scottish League into the English League?
I would prefer that.
You would prefer that if they just amalgamated? So what team would finish where? How would you judge that?
Oh, in terms okay. So you're saying for the first round, yeah.
Where are you going to finish them up?
Theoretically, I love the sound of them in there, but I mean, I don't know if it's fair to rank the Scottish Premier League alongside the English Premier League.
That's a problem.
And that's not a slight on our friends, the Scots, because clearly Celtic and Rangers make a very good case, and you've got a couple of other clubs that do. Yeah, Hearts have had some good seasons recently.
Kilmarnock.
I know Aberdeen have had some success in the past. Yeah, so
under Fergie, the great Ferguson.
Shout out to Steve, who might be listening to this.
Yeah.
I know
Hi,
he's an
Steve.
Aberdeen fan. So yeah, they've got some clubs that are definitely up there, but all in all, you'd have to say that there is more strength and depth in the English Premier League.
I don't think that's unfair.
I don't think that's unfair either.
So,
once you throw in some Welsh teams as well, which are also there,
yeah,
suddenly you're saying, well, this is a really talented league.
Yeah, but
the best in the world, I would say.
So can you amalgamate that entire league into one thing? I don't think you can. So
yeah, logistically, I don't think so.
Yeah, so here's the other plan. We the English Premier League only takes the big two. Oh, that's a hell of a playoff. That's a lot of money riding on that.
There's got to be some ranking system that clearly, obviously, Celtic and Rangers shouldn't have to qualify because they're obviously pedigrees there. They could walk right in.
Okay.
Maybe you pick 4 because you're at least 3 immediately.
So you're losing 3 teams out of the Premier League.
Yeah, there's a 3 relegated team anyway, right?
And so no one gets promoted that year. Oh, that's harsh.
No promotion.
It's so harsh.
You're
destroying the fabric of what's good about the game in a way. Yeah. What have they got to play for in the Championship that season? They'll just sit there going,
money.
But the money's in the Premier League.
Or the top 3 fight it out with those top 3 in Scotland.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind the idea, but the other way to do it...
You'd have to assume the Scots are going to beat them, though. So you're still right. You're still
third-
right. They might well, after all that season, still not go in like, but hey, I was champion of championship.
I won the
and
championship.
I still didn't get automatic qualification.
So that's harsh. So here's the other way that you could do it. You can let Rangers and Celtic enter basically at the national conference level. And then they have to make their entire way up the pyramid. Same as Rangers just did, basically.
That is really harsh.
Is it harsh or is it fair?
To take, for example, Rangers did something bad.
Yeah, yes,
and
they got penalised for it.
And they got penalised, so I don't feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Water under the bridge, I've got no issue with it now. Yeah. No issue at all.
But come on, you're a businessman. You're a businessman. I mean, like, if your 5-year plan is to get, Celtic to the Premier League, but imagine the boon, imagine the money.
Yeah, but you're wrong, because Celtic have already done everything that's required of them to be an elite club. And for them to start in conference is a joke. I mean, they'd be winning 9-0 every game.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I mean, that's a fairer system.
How are they going to get the coverage?
They won't at the time. This is what I'm saying. But you're giving it's short-term loss for long-term gain.
No, and look, I kind of hired and fired Garfield a lot in our last podcast.
Do you think,
start again.
Do you think, though, that that's a fair way of doing it? Just parachuting those two teams in, no one gets promoted, the relegated teams just go out, that's your lot, mate.
No, I'm suggesting that they maybe playoff. They get involved in the playoff. You make it a bigger playoff series. Look, clubs do it all the time. I mean, players who end up playing in the World Cup have a very extended playing season. Yeah, they'll be a little tired. Okay, whoop-de-doo. You get paid a lot of money. Get over it.
Yeah,
we all have tough lives.
Okay, here's the other problem. What happens to the Scottish Premier League without those two clubs?
Well, it becomes the British Premier League, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, if you amalgamate the whole thing, but I mean, if just the big two leave.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think very much. I think that
it would be
more interesting.
You know what would be hilarious, by the way, if Scotland secede and then the league joins in.
Well,
that would be hilarious.
Then after all that work, then Celtic and Rangers leave and go back. That'd be even funnier.
Look, I don't ever actually see this happening.
I told you he was up for Brexit. Listen to this guy.
Don't mention the war. It's an interesting thing to think about. Do I ever think it's going to happen? No. I mean, all of the Premier League clubs basically just go, I'm not having that.
Yeah, literally
because,
no one.
that's their lifeblood. They don't want that to happen. The only couple of teams that would
paid them
like
the money? What if, so for example, what if you look at the money,
the equivalent of parachute payments, but you don't get. Yeah, but again, you're running this situation. If you're say, I'm just going to pick a team. If you're Nottingham Forest and you won the championship that season, but Celtic just took your place.
Yes.
Sure, you get money, but you don't get the prestige of moving up the division.
And you played Celtic.
Yeah, but
Celtic beat you fair and square.
That's still harsh. So they have to play a 46-game season and win it and win the entire season.
I'll tell you what. Why not a hybrid of our decisions? What if you put the Scottish teams in through the championship?
Well, this is
League One teams don't get promoted once.
It's still harsh.
Once. No, it's not harsh. It's a huge difference between moving from League One to Championship than it is Championship to Premier League.
No,
they're not comparable.
They are for clubs of that size.
They're not comparable.
If you're a smaller club and you've got the chance to make it to the championship and your path is blocked.
Doesn't matter.
Wow, okay. I want people to come onto our Facebook page. It's Studs Up. You'll find it really easily. And comment on this because I think that's unfair. Simon Says thinks, nope, just bring them in. Just roll out the red carpet. Yeah. Let them come through.
Scotland's better than England anyway. Come on, Scots, defend me.
Oh, wow. I'm in trouble now. Anyway, I thought that we'd just mention that as a bit of a by-the-by. Let's get on with the previews.
Let's do it. The Studs Up podcast. I got to be honest, I'm getting used to this. Liverpool being match of the round or one of the matches of the round. Because every week...
Just wait for 2 more weeks when you're playing WBA and then
I agree. We'll have our run. But it's literally because of the difficult run we've had to start this season with. It's just been match of the round every week, practically. Apart from the Burnley game, every other match has been massive.
Yeah, I agree.
Arsenal, Leicester, Tottenham, and now Chelsea. I mean, our whole season is being defined by these matches.
By the opening 6 weeks.
So the fact that we're 6th now because Everton did win. Yeah. They did win. Is good. I'm honestly okay with that for now. I didn't think we'd even be 8th at this point.
Yeah.
I just thought because we could have easily lost to Arsenal. Let's face it.
You could have.
We could have lost to Tottenham, potentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's not... Yes, we drew, and yes, we could have won the match as well, but it's a match we could have lost.
Yeah,
So we're in a good spot. So I think this is going to be a really stern test. Really stern
test. Do you
test.
think that the attacking flair of Liverpool at the moment, you are the most scintillating team in the comp when you're on song.
We are.
Can you blow away that Chelsea team with a stoic manager like Conte there?
I'm gonna say no. I think at Stamford Bridge, I'm hoping we can get the draw. I'm most nervous. I'm not scared of us scoring goals. I mean, I could be wrong.
You should definitely be scared about conceding.
But I'm very scared about conceding.
Yeah.
They have the attack to hurt us.
Yeah.
I mean, Hazard operating out there on his little free roll.
Yeah.
Carving up that side. I mean, yes, he's on the left predominantly, but I guarantee you, if Moreno starts, you'll see him on the other side,
please.
Right up against him.
They are going to overload that side of the pitch
for sure. Conte's a good manager, and they're a great side,
but their defense is weaker this week.
The defense is extremely. So this is my point. This could be a high-scoring game. The question is going to be, can we score more goals than Chelsea?
Okay. Now, speaking of that defense.
Yes.
You know who's going to step in.
Well, I mean, Terry's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, and who's going to step in?
Sideshow Bob himself.
Sideshow Bob himself. But right here, right off the presses, just fresh off the press.
What have you got there? What have you got?
I have this comment from Conte himself.
That was not off any press. He was literally flapping paper, blank paper.
It's off the press. This is fresh off the presses. Thanks for destroying my theatre of the mind. David Luiz is a combination of the best of Bonucci and Bazzagli. Yeah. Okay. Simon Says was just drinking water then, and he nearly did a comical 1940s and spat it everywhere.
Oh, I nearly
just read that headline again. I'm just going to hold it up for you so you know I'm not lying, and you read that headline. You read it back out.
Actually, he said this?
Just read it back out.
Is that a direct quote? It's not in quotations.
No, it's a direct quote.
David Luiz is a combination of the best of Bonucci. No, it can't be right. No, this can't be right. Is that a quote? Where does it show quotation marks?
Okay, here you go. Do you just have a read of the first paragraph there in quotation marks? There you go.
Pass that over.
There you go. Just enjoy yourself there. Just read it out loud.
I think David Luiz's qualities are somewhere in the middle between Bonucci and Bazzagli. He's good technically and has good personality like Bonucci. And he likes to play football like Bonucci likes to play football. And I also find the good physical potential like... I mean... No. Do you know what's Bazzagli to me?
Yeah.
This whole idea is Bazzagli.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
I just wanted to blow your mind.
So... What, between Conte and Pep Guardiola? I mean, is there something in the water that they're drinking in England at the moment?
Yeah.
And Allardyce...
What's going on with managers making these surreal comments? I quite literally then saw... Yeah, there's a whole article about it.
It goes on like this, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bother to waste your time, but...
It goes on and on and on. But I literally...
waxing lyrical about the worst player in the team.
I literally saw your brain hit a full reset then. It cannot compute.
I couldn't compute. I just don't even want to say it out loud because I feel like I'm adding credence to it.
So there you go. See, the weak link, the possible weak link in that team is apparently the best, the combined best of two of the best Italian players in the world. Well, Italian players in the world. Duh.
That is just a joke.
Unbelievable.
That's a joke. No, I'm disturbed by that. I'm just going to sit here and remind myself of that Rabona by Payet.
It's a hell of a... just look it up if you haven't yet. Anyway, what's your tip for the score of that game?
I'm tipping Chelsea 3-2.
Whoa, okay, I'm going to go with the draw. I'm going to go with 2-2. Anyway, let's move on.
I hope you're right.
Yeah. Well, let's move on from that one. Let's have a look at Hull City versus Arsenal.
Yeah, Hull City Arsenal. Look, I'm not going to say the honeymoon is over for Hull. I'm not going to say that because that's really unfair. But
this is going to test them.
I just think
if we were wrong last week saying, Arsenal could blow a team away, they better prove it this week.
Arsenal's not blowing Hull away, no way. But I see them getting the win.
Yeah, I can see them getting a win. I think a 2-0 there.
I think Hull could get a goal.
Okay, I mean they're in pretty good form at the moment, so you never know. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I could see a 2-1 or a 1-0.
Yeah,
or
fair
a 2-0.
enough.
Yeah.
All right. How about City versus Bournemouth?
Yeah, City Bournemouth.
Manchester City versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, look, I waxed lyrical in the last one about how much I like Bournemouth, and I do. I like Bournemouth. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
He's going to be great for them.
Yeah, Callum Wilson.
I don't know if I fully agree with Garfield's idea that he's going to be the next... that he could do a Vardy.
I'm not saying he's a 20-goal a season. I'm saying he's a solid 15 and an England call-up.
So he's a Defoe.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, he's a Defoe. A younger...
It's Man City.
Prettier Defoe.
After what I just saw from Man City against United, it's Man City.
With De Bruyne and that team in that form, they can blow away any
they
team
might
in the
rest
world.
him.
Yeah, well, you could. You could rest him. It's not going to hurt.
No,
you've got Sane right there. Just step straight in.
Let me just reach into my back pocket. What have I got here? Leroy Sane.
Yeah, wow. No, ridiculous.
Goodness me.
I'm seeing that as a proper 3-0. Yeah. I can see that as a little bit of a spanking, if I'm being honest with you. How about the battle of the W's? West Brom versus West Ham.
Well, West Ham are going to step back up.
They have to.
After what just happened, and I know they're away, so it's a little bit harder. I get that. But, I mean, West Brom, they're not exactly playing a fortress there, do they?
They're one of the more stoic defensive teams in the comp.
Yeah,
I could see them holding them out
against
for
Liverpool.
a while.
They could do it because everyone holds out against Liverpool. It sucks, but against this West Ham side who's smarting, you can imagine what Slaven Bilic said to him.
Oh, mate.
And Payet probably said, "Guys, we win this match, or I'm leaving."
He's bizarrely under a little bit of pressure. I think Slaven Bilic. That seems bizarre to me, but he is. There's some trouble there in that particular paradise.
Trouble in paradise.
But you know what? The away fixture is actually, I think, going to help them. They're going to be away from the Olympic Stadium. They won't have their own fans on their back. I think I can see a solid 1-0 win there for West Ham.
Blaming the Hammer fans?
No, I'm not blaming the fans.
Look at you turning on West Ham.
I like West Ham.
Like they're yesterday's news.
Hey,
you just cast them aside.
I like blowing bubbles as much as the next guy. It's all fine.
West Ham fans, right in.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just right in. Your complaints to Simon Says. Leicester City versus Burnley. Speaking of teams that are smarting.
Leicester Burnley, I mean... I cannot see Leicester after what just happened
at the King Power
doing anything but winning handsomely.
They have to win.
I can see them giving Burnley a proper spanking.
Oh, see, I think this game's going to be a slog. I think they'll win. I think they'll win, but I think it's going to be it might be 2-0, but it's going to be one of those tight 2-0s, where you get the 86-minute goal and your scoreline looks pretty...
I'm seeing like a 3-1 happening, or even a reverse of the scoreline of last week, a 4-1 or something. I think I think Vardy and Mahrez...
they have to fire.
Ranieri said last week that Mahrez and Vardy are no longer guaranteed their starting places.
Nor should they be after their performances so far. But,
Yeah,
I can see them winning, but I think it's going to be a slog for them. How about Everton versus Middlesbrough? This is actually possibly my game of the round.
I mean, it's not game of the round. Chelsea-Liverpool's game of
round.
the round.
Okay, that is the game of the round, but I'm saying, for me, this is the one that I'm most fascinated to kind of watch where these two teams are at.
For sure. What ended up happening with Negredo? Is he injured or not? I know he picked up a knock.
He did pick up a knock. I don't actually know if he's going to be up for this weekend. Without him, they're going to really struggle. But I think Goodison Everton are going to do them anyway.
Goodison.
Hey, Lukaku settled again. He's finding his feet.
Coman.
Yeah,
we say it every week.
Please.
We say it every week.
Yeah,
I really like
best of the
Coman.
rest.
Yeah.
Best of the rest.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to win that one. I think 2-0.
Yep. I'm agreeing with that one.
How about Watford after their amazing comeback last week versus Manchester United? Well, they have to.
They will. I think Watford are in some trouble. I think if Watford walk into that even remotely cocky, which they might, after what they just did, they would be forgiven for being a little cocky because that was stunning. I mean, you'd still be high a week later.
Yeah.
I totally would feel that. I totally understand it, but Man United.
Yeah, well,
they'll be smarting. They will be smarting. I would not want to be the next team. That next team is Watford. I'm glad it's not Liverpool.
It's got to be a whooping. I think it's going to be a really tense 2-1, to be honest.
I didn't say they're going to win it handsomely like that, but I think they'll win the game at all costs.
Yeah. Mourinho's going to go all out.
Even if people need to be stabbed.
And I think Rashford might start.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Starting Rashford alongside Ibra. Mourinho, listen.
Yeah, get rid of Rooney. Anyway, let's move on.
Crystal Palace. Play Rooney, still play Rashford.
Yeah, but play Rooney on the right. Or switch to a 4-3-3.
Correct.
For the love of God, switch to a 4-3-3 with Rashford on the left, with Rooney on the right. Put Ibra up front. Play your three in the middle with Pogba doing what Pog does. Let him roam free. Let Pog off the leash.
And then after half-time, bring on Martial.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Or Mkhitaryan. Or any of the other great talent you've got in that team. Let's move on. Crystal Palace versus Stoke.
Yeah, I'm going to say Palace because
at home.
Stoke are in shambles.
Yeah.
And as much as they got hurt big time against Tottenham, and you usually expect a team to jump back,
Yeah,
I think
the
it's a little bit of the
pressure's on
opposite.
Hughes, yeah.
I think that they're crumbling a little bit, and I think the nerves are going to be massive. And I think that Palace side, fresh off a really good victory against Borough,
With Benteke and Zaha finding their rhythm.
Form, Townsend, this is a good side.
I'm going to say that's a 3-0 for me. I think they might just give him a proper spanking.
I could see Stoke getting a goal this time. I don't think they're going to goalless again.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm with you on the idea that I think Crystal will win it and win it well.
Yeah, I think the pressure's definitely on Mark Hughes. But let's go to the next one. Southampton versus Swansea. Southampton played so well against Arsenal.
This is my toughest one to call.
Yeah.
I mean, Swansea, let's say the 2-2 scoreline was generous against Chelsea.
Flattered them.
It flattered them a lot. It was 2 minutes of madness.
Of absolute madness.
Madness.
Yeah.
A call could have gone against them,
and it would have been.
And it would not have been 2-2.
Yeah,
I agree with the call. I'm happy for the goal to have stood. Absolutely. But
Leroy Fur's goal. We're talking.
Yeah,
about.
Leroy Fur's goal exactly. Yeah. But I'm tipping Southampton.
I'm going to go for. So am I. I'm going to go for at home at St Mary's. They need that W on the board.
Southampton.
I'm thinking they're going to do it. How about the last game of the round? Tottenham versus Sunderland.
Tottenham, easy. That's the easiest one of the round. Seriously.
Wow. No credit at all.
No, I just think Sunderland they're in trouble.
Yeah. In the form Tottenham are in, back at White Hart Lane.
Sunderland can totally score a goal. Maybe even 2 goals. But if that happens, I guarantee you Tottenham are scoring 4.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just in good form again. Harry Kane's found the net. For all we know, that could be the catalyst he needed. Most importantly, Eriksen.
It has been the last 2 seasons. He's gone on little goal droughts at the start of the season, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. This was 9. I think last season it was 10, so it's pretty close. I mean, everyone else should be worried. Yeah, I would start to worry as well. But, hey, that's our tips for the round. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, the Studs Up podcast, as it were. Simon says, thank you so much for your company, as always, and thank you guys so much for listening. If you'd like to give us some feedback on any of that, particularly anything stupid that Simon says has said, then you can just go to our Facebook page, Studs Up, or you can visit our website. That's studsup-football.com. We'd love to hear what you guys have got to say, and we'll see you next time.